I was like, cool, let's go. I was always down to go out for the party and have fun. So, I go scoop her up, we go shopping, we go back to my place, we get dressed, and we go to this place. Hey everybody, welcome back to Nana Vlogs. Today we're going to be talking about my handsome husband and how I knew he was the one. But before we do that, let me just say thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. So good to see y'all. Let me ask you a favor. Hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell right next to it. That way you get updates every time I upload a video. All right, let's get into it. So let's go all the way back to year 2017. 2017, I was single. I was doing my thing. I was partying. I had my own car, my own place. I guess as a 32-year-old should, or 30, maybe I was 31. As a 31-year-old should. And then, I was just living my life. Like I was popping. I was good. I was like Miss Independent. Need a man for what? No. So November 2017 is my cousin's birthday, and she calls me. She's like, Nana, let's go out for my birthday. I'm turning, I think she might have been turning 30. I don't remember. But she was like, let's go out. And I was like, okay, bet, I'm gonna come get you. I went and got her. We went shopping. Then we went back to my place. We got ready. And we headed out to this place called Stone Trail. So when we got there, they were closed. Like they were shut down. But there was a note on the door saying that, oh, it was more of a flyer, I guess, not a note. It was a flyer on the door saying that that place was shut down for, reconstruction, something like that. They're gonna have a grand reopening. But there's another spot that they have that we could go to. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go there. So we end up going there to the other spot. I forget what it was called, but you had to go up these stairs to get to her, to go in the elevator. We took the elevator because I wasn't finna walk in them shoes. But we end up going there, and as soon as we walk in, and I didn't know that this person was gonna be here because we hadn't talked in like years. We met when we were like 20, 21, but it was years since we had even spoke to each other or had seen each other. And so as soon as I walk in the door, like the stage is like right in front of you, like up there. So it's like, guess who I see? Don. So I'm like, okay, Suchi, look who's here. I didn't know he was back in the band. So we walk around to the stage, and I'm like, okay, Tucci, watch this. I'm gonna go like make his heart just melt. So watch this. I walk up to the stage and I stand there and I make eye contact with him. And once I make that eye contact, like we lock eyes, and he's like, oh my God, Dad, look who is here. And he's saying all this through the mic while he's up there supposed to be performing. So he's saying, oh my God, Dad, look who's here. And then he starts talking to me, and he's like, you stay right there. Don't you go anywhere. You stay right there. And of course I didn't. So that was just a part of my entrance. I went up and I looked at him. We made that eye contact. He started telling me to stay there, and I was like, bye. So I turn around and I walk off. And I go to talk to another guy. And this guy is buying me and my cousin a drink for her birthday. And so once, Don gets off stage, he comes over, and, we go and we talk, and we end up exchanging numbers, and we end up taking a picture together. And I'll like put the picture right here or right here so you guys can see it. But at this time, so I was like, I can't talk to him. He's cool and all, but like when we first met, he wasn't really skinny, but he was skinny. Like he was athletic built. And so he wasn't that built anymore. He had gained a lot of weight. So I was like, nah, I can't talk to him. So we ended up not talking. And fast forward to February of 2018, he contacts me, and I'm getting ready to move at this time. So I was like, well, you know what? I still don't want a relationship, but you can pay for my move. You can pay for me a moving company to come move my stuff out of my apartment. And he's like, so he was playing along, like, yeah, I'll do it. But when it came time to do it, dude did not come through. And I was like, bet, I got you. Now I'm not gonna talk to you anymore ever. So we end up we stopped talking then. And fast forward, like over the summer, I'm just like having fun, living my best life. Me and my cousin, you know, uptown, having a blast. And he texts me one day. He's like, you wanna hang out? I was like, yeah, cool, you can come over, we can hang out. We made plans on the text for him to come over the weekend or the next day or something like that and hang out. But when it came time for him to come, I texted him. I was like, nah, never mind. I have my nieces with me, which I did have my nieces there. I was braiding somebody's hair, so I had my nieces there. And which they're big girls. They were like, I think my niece was like 19 or 20 at the time. And my other niece, she was 13, but they could have stayed at home together. So I could have went and hung out with him. I don't know. I didn't want to. I don't know. Maybe I was playing hard to get. You know how we do sometimes. But anyhow, so I changed my mind. I end up changing my mind, and I'm like, okay, you know what? They're old enough. They can stay here. And I text him, I texted him and he didn't answer, so I called him. And when I called him, he's like, yeah, I'm hanging out with a friend. So it turns out he found somebody else to go hang out with. And they were going to he went to buy this girl some furniture. But you can buy me a moving truck. Or buy me, pay for me a moving company. Sucker. So, anyhow, I'm like, okay, cool, bet, whatever. We can just be friends. So we end up just like texting each other like friends or whatever. And then he ends up like wanting to be with me. He's like, I'm gonna leave this girl alone and I'm gonna leave everybody alone for you. So I was like, okay, cool. But in my head, I was really like, no. And I was still like kind of playing games with him. And like at some point, I just began to think like, is this my life? Like, I'm really gonna be this girl who just wants to like play and party and just like live her best life all the time. Like, that can't be what God has in store for me. So I decide to become celibate. Me and Don stopped talking. I decided to become celibate, and I meet another guy, and he's all like, yeah, cool, I can handle your celibacy. And I'm like, bet, then we can try to do something. He was a great guy, single, no kids, own place. And so, okay, let me say this. At the time, I did not date guys who had kids because I had a bad experience previously with a guy who I dated, who I really, really liked, who had kids. And it was just like, it was a bad experience for me. Kind of like his ex-wife just tried to like pull and tug and had him wrapped around her finger. So that ended up not working out. So I was like, I'll never date anybody else with kids again. So when I finally met somebody who didn't have kids and had a job and a place and had their stuff together, I was like, bet. And looked decent, checked my boxes. I was like, bet, cool, but he ended up not being able to handle my celibacy. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. So Don rolls back around. Somehow me and Don are texting again. And I tell him, I'm celibate. We can talk, but I'm celibate, so I hope you can handle that. And he's like, yeah, I can handle that. That's cool. And I was like, well, the last guy said that too. So we'll see. So he ended up being able to handle it. Like, there were times where like I didn't even want him to like touch me or hug me, just because I was just so into like, I was so blinded. Like, I feel like it was the devil. Like, now I can look back and say, you know what? The devil has been trying to keep me away from my purpose for so long. Like, I feel like now I'm living in my purpose. And I feel like looking back at like the choices that I made and the things that I did, like the devil has been messing with me for a real long time and I didn't even recognize it. So, he accepts my celibacy. We start to date, but I continuously try to break up with him and don't take him serious and don't be serious. And one day he told me, I was at work sitting in the car texting him on my break, and he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna keep playing this game with you. I'm not gonna keep going back and forth. And I was like, okay, well then, you know, I've been trying to break up with you, and you know, this is the time. You don't want to play the games. I don't want you, so cool. So I end up going home that night and praying. During this time that I had become celibate, I started doing like prayer through meditation. So I would pray and I would talk to God, and I would be like, God, like, when am I gonna find my husband? Like, is my husband gonna come? Am I gonna have kids? Like, I'm 32 years old. What's going on, God? And I got a vision, and it was me and my husband, and we were looking at our baby girl sitting, like she was in a playpen, and we were standing, you know, there looking at her. And I just began to cry and cry, and it was just overwhelming for me, because I knew that was God speaking to me and saying, you know what, you're gonna get this. He didn't say when, but he showed me. I felt like that was him reassuring me. So a few weeks go by. Well, a bunch of weeks go by, 4. So like a month go by, and I decide, you know what, I want to pray and like feel that presence of God again, like feel that feeling. And so I did it, and this time when he showed me the vision, he showed me my husband's face, and it was done. And I was like, God, are you sure? Because for me, I guess I was just so like blinded by the physical. And I remember having a conversation with my grandmother, and she was like, girl, there's nothing wrong with a man with some meat on his bones. And like some of the things that like attracted me to Don were like, or one of the things that attracted me to him was how great of a father that he is. Like, dude is like father of the year. I don't know, he's father of the year. And I just found that so sexy. When God showed me that it was him, I was like, okay, are you sure? But you know, it was him. So the next day I end up calling Don, and I tell him what happened. No, I call him, but he doesn't pick up the phone. He doesn't answer. So I get in my car. It was like after work. It was like rush hour traffic time in Dallas. So I get in my car, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to his house. And so I'm headed there. I'm in traffic, but he ends up picking up halfway, like once I get halfway there. And he's like, I'm not even at home. I'm at the boys' football practice. And I didn't know anything about like Grand Prairie or anything like that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not coming out there. But I told him what happened, and I was on the phone and I was crying, and I was like, you know, God showed me that you're my husband, and I'm sorry for being how I was. Like, forgive me for being such a little snob. Forgive me, like, just forgive me for that, for being blind to what God had for me, and for being so mean to you. And I was like, I'm ready. You know, I'm ready to do this. Let's try it. Let's give it a try. Because God told me this, so it has to be true, you know. And so we end up dating, and that was like September, around September. In October, 2 days before, no, 2 days after his birthday, we ended up getting married. So, you know, that's how I knew he was the one for me. Like, God was like, girl, this is your husband, so stop tripping. And like, something that I always prayed for was that my grandmother would be able to be at my wedding. And she was able to be at my wedding. 7 months after we got married, she passed away. So I was just grateful and thankful that God gave me Don and he gave me the boys. Like, he put them in my life because he knew that I needed them more than I even knew that I needed them. So they're a big part of what's kept me going. Yeah. So yeah, God gave me Don, and I'm thankful for that. I'm forever thankful for that. Yeah, so anywho, that's how, I knew that my man was the one, how I knew I was supposed to marry him, because God said, girl, that is him. I'm showing him to you. What you gonna do? So yeah. If you have like a similar experience on how you knew that your husband was the one, please comment down below. Or even if you knew how you knew that your wife was the one, comment down below. Let me know. Like, I want to know if there's other stories like mine out here. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. And thank you guys so much for just listening to me talk to y'all. Like, I love you guys. Y'all be blessed. Bye.